All right, good afternoon. We're going to go ahead and get started. We know that it is snowing in most parts of the state, so we might not have as many people on as we would before, but we are recording this, so we will send this out afterwards as well. I'm Sharon Davies. I'm the Executive Director of the Virginia YMCA, and Spencer Snyder, who is our Program Director, is also on the call. Spencer, do you want to say hello?
Hello, everyone.
All right. So just to give you guys a little background here, or a little bit of an agenda of what we'll cover today, it shouldn't take terribly long. We're going to talk about what the lobbyist role is at MGA, so you understand that a little bit better. And then we're going to talk about Advocacy Day, which is what's coming up next Wednesday in Richmond. So we'll talk about what we expect of you, what the schedule is, and then we will answer any questions. If you're logged on via a computer, or the app, there is a chat area where you can type in questions if you would like. Spencer will keep an eye on that for me and will let me know if there are any questions, so you can type them there, or you can just unmute yourself and ask questions if you have any questions. All right, so the lobbyist role at MGA, I'm not sure how many of you have done it in the past, but the lobbyist's main job is to influence the legislation. So you will be assigned to a committee and you will have 5 to 7 pieces of legislation that you are going to follow the entire time. So you will see them first in committee, and then they will go to the chamber floor, and then you will see them, you will follow them to the other chamber, and then follow them through that entire process. As a lobbyist, you get to speak in committee. So you are going to be talking, I believe it's towards the end of committee, or towards the end of each bill. The committee chair will call on you. They have a time to call on you, so you're able to voice your opinion on each piece of legislation. It's a very influential role that you have. You get to have a lot of research done in advance on these roles or on these bills, and you only have these couple of bills that you're following, so you can be an expert on them. So you'll fill out some paperwork in advance on each piece of legislation. You'll decide if you are for or against it. You can have lots of research, things like that. You are not allowed to speak on the floor at MGA while floor session is going on, but it's actually a very busy time for you all as lobbyists, because that's when you're pulling people out during session to give them notes, to ask them questions. If you are really in favor of a piece of legislation, you can work with the bill patron and give them your research, or give some people some speeches to read. Same if you're against the bill. You can either try and offer some amendments with the author of the bill, or you can give a speech to somebody else or some facts to somebody else to help try and get the bill defeated. You also have the opportunity to meet with the youth governor or the attorney general or a member of their staff. They will have an office in the Capitol, and you will be able to set up times to go meet with them and influence your legislation. So that's what you will be doing at MGA. So Advocacy Days, just so you all know, this started several years ago. We used to always bring our youth governor to Richmond and introduce them to the actual governor. And then we would have the youth governor introduced in the House and Senate. Well, a couple of years ago, we decided, well, we should expand that. And we started bringing our 6 elected officers and their families. And then a couple of years later, we decided to bring our student lobbyists in. It's really important, we think, for our student lobbyists to see how lobbyists actually function during the General Assembly. So what you'll be doing is you'll be shadowing an actual lobbyist on their normal day. So you may be going to committee meetings. You may be meeting with legislators. You may be going to a breakfast somewhere. We really have no idea what the day will hold for you. You're just going to be going off with a lobbyist. And there'll be a small group of you, about 3 or 4 of you, assigned to the lobbyist, and you will just follow them throughout their day and learn what it is they do and how they influence legislation. So what we expect of you is to arrive early. We'll go over the schedule on the next slide, I believe it is. But we want you to make sure you're there early, just because traffic in Richmond can be a little bit crazy in the mornings. So just make sure you are there with plenty of time to spare. You're expected to be in MGA attire. If you are unsure about the MGA dress code, your advisor has access to the student guide where it is clearly outlined. This is a professional environment. Men will be in suits, ladies will be in the equivalent. So make sure that you are in appropriate attire. Also take note that you will be walking quite a bit, so make sure that your shoes are appropriate for the dress code as well as for comfort. So we expect you to take notes while you're there. You have this great opportunity to spend time with an actual lobbyist and pick their brains about what it is they do. They can tell you about some great successes they've had, as well as some failures that they've had with influencing legislation. So you can talk with them about some different ways that you can use their experience at MGA. We also are going to give you several materials to bring around with you, because part of Advocacy Day is also bringing awareness to the Model General Assembly. There are several legislators who came through the Model General Assembly program, including Governor Northam. But we also are always looking to get more legislators to volunteer at MGA and just to be aware of the program. So we expect you to kind of be able to talk about your MGA experience if you've been before, if you have not been before, to talk about your preparation so far and what you're looking forward to. We also will have the names of the lobbyists that you go with, and we expect you to write them a thank you note afterwards, just to thank them for their time, because they, quite frankly, don't have to do this, and they are volunteering to take you around on their day. And then the biggest thing that we expect is for you to learn how to actually lobby. These are just some of the materials that we will give you while in Richmond. The one on the left is almost like a newsletter that talks about what happened at MGA last year and has photographs of what happened last year. And then the one on the right is a document that has names of various legislators and which high schools in their districts attend MGA. All right. So for the schedule for Advocacy Days, this says Commonwealth Park Hotel. That is a mistake by me. I apologize. It is the Commonwealth Hotel now. It used to be the Commonwealth Park Hotel. It is on the corner of 9th and Bank Streets. It is right across from the Bank Street entrance of the Capitol. So we need you to be in there ready to go by 8:30 a.m. We have a room reserved called the Governor Room. So please be there before 8:30 a.m. Make sure you've had breakfast beforehand and are just ready to go. And also make sure you have your ID with you. Some of the buildings that you may go into might require photo ID if you have that. If you are driving yourself, there are several public parking decks downtown. The hotel also does have valet parking if you would like to utilize that. I am unsure of what the cost is, but that is an option. If your parents are dropping you off, they can drop you off in the valet loop there right by the hotel. So at 8:30, Spencer is going to be going over some information with you all about what your day is going to look like. And then by 9 a.m., you're going to be off shadowing lobbyists. So you're going to spend 2.5 hours that morning following your lobbyist around, asking questions, going to their meetings, etc. Like we had said before, you are going to observe them, see what they're doing, ask questions, promote MGA, all of the above. And while you're doing this, we just hope that you get some good information that you can use when you're in Richmond again in March. At 11:30, you're going to meet Spencer back in the Commonwealth Hotel in the Governor Room. And he's going to just go over some information with you about, wrapping up your day and what comes next. So that right now is the schedule. Just so you all are aware, we have over 60 people coming next Wednesday for various things. We have the 6 elected officers and their families. We have appointed officers, committee chairs, lobbyists, etc. All of these students coming to our advocacy days. So there's going to be quite a crowd coming in and out. We will have name tags for you all, and we will have schedules for you all. And like we said, we will have you assigned to certain lobbyists. So Spencer, do you have anything to add?
All I would have to add is, make sure you come prepared, and not just dress-wise and ready to walk around. Everything that Sharon's talking about, want to iterate a couple of points, but just make sure you do your preparation work that we suggested for you all. You may want to bring something to write down on, but I wouldn't bring a whole lot with you to carry, just because you're going to be walking around a lot. And this this is going to be an opportunity that's it's hands-on for you. So you're going to get an opportunity, as Sharon was talking about, to really see how lobbyists interact. And you'll be able to take many of those skills with you to MGA and utilize them to help you while you're at MGA be a really influential lobbyist. Of course, the process is a little bit different from MGA in General Assembly, but that's because our process has to be shorter because we're only 3 days versus 30 plus. So yeah, just make sure you're prepared. What we'll do is when we're there, we'll talk about in our pre-session, not only what to expect for that day to realize that, but to also talk about what we're looking for you all to do between Advocacy Day and MGA. We will have a webinar to help prep you for MGA as well. There will be more information for that. Of course, we'll have simulations at the spring workshop, so make sure you attend the spring workshop as well, and we will do everything you can. You will also be getting emails from me, so make sure you are watching your email, because you'll be getting emails from me and your lobbyist coordinator or coordinators. I think there's more than one this year. So make sure you watch out for your email between now in Advocacy Days and Advocacy Day and MGA as well, because there will be a ton of communication to help get you prepared for MGA, because there is some prep work that needs to be done before you get there.
All right, thank you, Spencer. So just some tips for things for you all to do before you arrive in Richmond next week. If you could go to virginiageneralassembly.gov and there's a tab there that says Find My Legislator, and type in your address, and it will tell you who your state senator and your state House of Delegates representative are. So look up those names and also look up their pictures in case you happen to come across them in the hallway, because oftentimes you'll pass them in the hallway. And it's just great if you run into your legislator to say hello, get some photos, things like that. So know them by name and also by sight. We also would just suggest that you might look up a little bit of what's going on in the General Assembly this year. The Richmond Times-Dispatch is the local paper for Richmond, and they have a great General Assembly section. So if you just wanted to browse some articles there to see what's happening, that might help get you up to date on some of the legislation you may see on Wednesday as you go around. And you also, if you're snowed in tomorrow and can't go out, you can go watch session, and you can also watch committee meetings on the Virginia General Assembly website as well. If you click on session and then there's a view the House and view the Senate, you can go there and see what's going on in the actual chambers, which usually begins at noon. And there's also various committee meetings going on, and you can watch some of those as well. So are there any questions from any of you? All right, well, hearing none, thank you all very much. And we will send out a recording of this as well afterwards, but watch out for an email from Spencer that has a detailed wrap up of this meeting, and we'll see you all in Richmond next week. Spencer, are you still there?
I am.
Good question.
Do what?
There's a question, what if you have to leave early?
Oh, there is?
It's.
I completely missed that whole section. I didn't get any notifications here. What if you have to leave early? Where? At Advocacy Day or MGA?
At Advocacy Day. So it's from Jay Kent. I'm sorry, that's all I can see is Jay Kent. So if you could just email Spencer, his email is programs@vaymca.org. He can chat further with you about that specific need.
Hey, Jay, in fact, or Jay Kent, whoever, I don't know what the J stands for. I don't have my list of lobbyists in front of me. I'll type my email address into the chat section if you can get reach that. And yeah, just email me what the situation is, when you'll have to leave, and all that stuff, and I'll see what I can do.
All right. Thank you all very much.